What's going on? Logan Henry here, and if you're just tuning in, over the better part of a decade, I've helped high-performing men, high-level executives, busy business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate professionals, consultants. I've helped those guys who've gotten to the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I've helped them go back in time and rediscover the guy that they remember from their early 20s and 30s, but only better, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and with a physical confidence, and a guy that stares back at him in the mirror that looks and feels like $1 million and someone that he can be proud of. I helped bring that guy back, but make him only better. And I remember a guy that had reached out to me not too long ago. He was a successful business owner, is actually a physician who was running a practice, and he had come into the program. But when he first came into the program, the Accelerated Method program, he was just sharing with me kind of what was going on with him. And typically it's the same dialogue that I hear from a lot of my guys where, he's sick and tired of being sick and tired. The energy just wasn't there, how he remembers it being back in the day. He'd wake up and just feel just blah. And then later on in the day, by the time he got home from work, he told me in his words, I just felt dead. And yet, after all of that, when we went into the program, sleep is a big component of our world. And I share with my guys, if you want to be operating at Mach speed 24/7, having all day energy, sleep is so critical. It's one piece of the puzzle, not the entire puzzle, but a lot of times you'll hear people say like, well, you got to do nutrition and physical activity, which is important, but we put sleep above that because if you do that and mix those together, it's going to help a lot. But anyways, one of the things with him was that he was having a really tough time falling asleep at night. But he was confused. He couldn't put his finger on it because he'd be like, man, I'm so dead in the evening. Why can't I fall asleep at night? I just literally find myself lying there awake. My mind is racing, and yet I'm dead the moment I get home. What's the deal? So after exploring and investigating even further, we got down, and he had shared with me how much he was reliant upon caffeine throughout the day. I mean, it was multiple cups of coffee. Even he was sharing with me later on in the part of the day, he was having lots of espressos, like in the middle, probably around that 3 o'clock time, just to push past that afternoon lull and just to make it as best as he could, and yet he still was dead. And so when he shared that with me, a light bulb went off in my head. I said, I have found from my experience, and actually science has proven, why you've been having a difficult time really just falling asleep. And so what I shared with him was that caffeine itself has a quarter life of up to 10 hours or more. If someone was going to take a cup of coffee or some kind of stimulant around 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., that caffeine will actually, a quarter of that will still be in their bloodstream by 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and that will make it almost damn near impossible to fall asleep. And so for him, what we worked on together was weaning that back a little bit and then eventually coming to a cutoff time. Inside my book, Regain Your Edge, I have, and even inside the Accelerated Method program, I share with my guys what's called the 1-3-2-1 protocol. And the 1 in that 1-3-2-1 stands for 1 p.m., which is mean to have a 1 p.m. caffeine cutoff time. Any time before that's even better. Okay, because remember, it can have up to a 10-hour quarter life, so we want to make sure that the caffeine is completely out of your system towards the end of the day. So the point is this: if you're a guy who is having a really tough time falling asleep, my recommendation is exactly what I share with my client, is to find yourself weaning off of caffeine. If you can give yourself a 1 p.m. caffeine cutoff time, that's great. Even sooner is better. I say keep caffeine for the morning and don't overdo it. A lot of people rely too much on caffeine. We're not about that in this world because I found that it almost produces a false sense of energy, and I found many different principles and protocols to overcome it and have sustainable all day long energy without relying on caffeine. But if you are having trouble falling asleep like my client did, I would encourage you to have a cutoff time. If you're like, man, 1 p.m. sounds way too early, you may be having espressos like he did at like 4 p.m., right? Move in shifts and start like just very small, like maybe just go back 30 minutes, then go back an hour, then eventually get better and better. And I think what you'll find over time is if you can remain consistent with it, you won't be as wired and tired at night. You'll just be tired when it's time to go to bed and be able to get a full night's rest and wake up feeling truly rested. And by the way, if you do want to feel truly rested throughout every single day of the year, all the time, then I encourage you to go check out my book, Regain Your Edge. You can go find it at www.logan-henry.com/regain your edge. I'm Logan Henry. Till next time, I'm out.